Good morning, everybody. 12 minutes past 7 o'clock right now. Time to fire up your engine. It is time to visit with Ron, the car guy, and tell you a little bit about something that could save you a lot of money in the long run and a lot of headache at the same time with something that is very simple to check.
Oh, fantastic. Well,
that?
good morning, Ron.
Well, good morning.
So we're teasing a little bit that you're going to help prevent us from something breaking in our vehicles.
Correct.
When I hear breaking, that doesn't sound good at all.
It sounds expensive.
Yeah, it sounds expensive, not good. So break that down a little bit for us. What are we talking about?
When this component does break, it is expensive. And you know, I saw this. You know, we actually saw 3 of these last week. Just being in the towing business. You go out on calls.
Now, how unusual is it to see 3 of them in 1 week?
Well, first of all, what are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about ball joints.
Okay.
Which that doesn't really mean anything to you guys because
Is that a ball joint?
This is a ball joint.
Okay.
And what you have to the way a ball joint works is it basically connects. We'll look at some pictures here a little bit later, but it basically connects the bottom part of the tire to the frame of the car. And it allows the wheel to turn back and forth, slide in and out. The best analogy is compare it to your shoulder or your hip. It's like a ball inside a socket, so it's allowed to rotate.
Okay.
But still be attached.
Exactly, exactly. So inside of this socket, there's a ball, and it lets your suspension move around. And when these break, then it becomes a problem because the wheel separates from the car. And you'd ask, you know, how unusual is it to see 3 a week? We see them every week, and we might not see 3, but we certainly don't go a week and not see 1.
So this is a common problem.
It's very common. It's very common, and you know, it used to be for years you could lubricate them. There was a grease zerk on the bottom, and so when you got your oil changed, you got your car lubed or greased, and you would grease them, and that would help prolong the life. And then the manufacturers took that away from us. And they built what they called a sealed unit, and they say it's lubed for life. Well, that doesn't mean the life of the car. That means the life of the component. So at some point in time, it's going to fail and break. And
that's the life of the component.
Then the components, its life's over because it broke.
So why are these breaking? Is it because of the component itself? Is it something I'm doing with my
vehicle?
vehicle?
No, it's nothing. It's nothing you're doing wrong. It's just going to happen over time.
Okay.
That it's going to wear out and break. And we've got some pictures here that I'd sent to producer Craig. So you can see in this picture, I got a couple of arrows on there, but you can see the empty hole down at the bottom.
Right.
That's the socket. And then you can see over on the right-hand side, that's the ball. They've separated.
Wow.
So then the nut came off.
Yeah, and you lose steering. You can't steer the car when this happens.
Right.
The wheel pops out, and so I don't know if we've got any other pictures to pop up on there or if that was the only one that we got, but here we go. So that's what happens.
Oh, geez.
You're driving down the road, the wheel pops out like that when the ball joint breaks. You can see in this particular case, and it's not uncommon, it damages the fender. You can see the oil on the ground. The oil's on the ground because it pulls the axle out of the transmission.
Nice.
So what could have at one point maybe been a $200 repair, is now a $2,000 repair plus whatever it takes to fix the fenders. So I mean, that's your car stops, you lose your steering.
Well, yeah, when the wheel separates from the car, that's not a good thing.
And with luck, and fortunately, because these turn when the car turns, I mean, more often than not, it's turning a corner, pulling in and out of the driveway. I mean,
a lower speed.
Exactly, but I mean, if something like that happened on the freeway, I mean, just imagine. I mean,
devastating.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we prevent that from happening?
And that's the very frustrating part to me because I mean, we, like I said, we saw 3 of these last week, and then I saw somebody had a post on Facebook, a picture of their car. They're like, "Oh, my ball joint broke," and people are like, "Oh, I had bad luck, my ball joint broke." This is 100% preventable.
100%.
100% preventable.
How so?
Well, it should be inspected as part of a routine inspection when you get your oil changed. So if your ball joint breaks, don't be mad because your ball joint breaks. Be mad because at some point in time somebody serviced your car and didn't take a couple of minutes to inspect the ball joint, check the ball joint. As this wears,
what are they looking for when
that's a great question, Lou. As this wears, I mean, picture a ball and socket. Picture your shoulder inside your shoulder bone or whatever the correct term is. I'm not a doctor, but as that wears, it gets loose. And so you're able to grab the wheel and you can feel the looseness. They'll also oftentimes give an audible warning. I don't know if you've ever been in like a parking lot, a grocery store or a shopping mall, and you hear a car coming down, and as they turn a corner, it makes this loud squeaking noise.
Yeah.
Kind of like a screen door that needs lubrication. That's the ball joint turning, saying, "Hey, I've got new lubrication in me. I'm metal on metal. I'm making this noise." Or you can hear a popping noise.
I would say the popping is most familiar.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I mean, it's giving you a warning. So there are some auditable warning signs, leading up to when it's going to fail. And then more importantly, your mechanic should be looking at this stuff, at least a couple times a year and giving you a heads up. And then when they call you and say, "Hey, Jackie, your car needs lower ball joints, and it's $485 to do so." They're not calling you up just because they want $485.
Right.
They found something wrong.
Yeah.
Now, if they did find a loose ball joint, is it always a matter of having to replace the ball joint, or is it a matter of just tightening down the nut?
Nope. It wears out down in the bottom part where there's no adjustment. So yeah, it needs to be replaced, and then the car needs to be aligned.
Okay.
And is it one of those situations kind of like tires, when you replace one, you need to replace all of them, or you just kind of go according to what the product is looking like?
They've turned the same amount of time. They've got the same age on. It's really a good idea to replace both. I mean, if there's financial restraints, certainly replace the bad one, but then keep a really close eye on the other one.
Right.
And make sure you're going to some place that is making sure they're inspecting something like your ball joint. And I know Westside Auto Pros always does a great job of inspecting vehicles all the way around to make sure you're staying safe on the roadways. And if people want to get in touch with you, Ron, how can they do that?
They can Google Westside Auto Pros. We're all over the internet. They can call us, 225-9090. Or email me, ron@westsideautopros.com.
Yeah, or another possible option is showing up on Wednesday at Zubru and coming over and saying, "Hey, Ron the car guy, I have a question for you."
Absolutely.
Because I can answer more questions.
Come look at my ball joint.
No, you won't be able to look at the ball joint because he's working Zubru. You can't do it then, but you can talk to him about it, and he talks about that every week. And we thank you for that, man.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ron.
We'll see you.